Great! Remember to click the trigger exactly when the icon overlaps with the control. The more accurate your timing, the more points you'll score. Good luck, and don't forget to have fun. Nice job! Now the first thing we Congratulations on getting this far. I know yesterday's lesson may have been a lot to digest, but keep in mind, we are going to keep building on what we've covered and reinforcing these concepts. Today, we will be mixing our fourth song in and unlocking continuous movement on the EQ, filter, and all of the filters. We will also be getting into how we can use auto loops. Using a loop is an incredible feature that we unlock in the world of digital DJ. This technique dates all the way back to DJ Kool Herc in the Bronx, manually restarting the break or bridge of a song or vinyl record. To keep the kids dancing, it is literally the beginning of hip-hop as a genre and a culture. But I'll save that full story for another time. Now, almost every DJ rig has a button that you can push that will create an infinite loop, along with buttons to shorten or extend that loop. This can be used to creatively mix between songs and is a bridge to making beats as well. Let's run through a couple of exercises and get used to setting loops and extending and shortening them in game mode. We've already learned what the EQ and filter do and how we can use them to smooth out the mix. In our earlier lessons, the behavior of these knobs was to simply click on the knob and it would turn. Now, we are unlocking a more realistic control of these knobs by giving you continuous movement. When you grab a knob, reach out and touch it and it will vibrate and turn blue. Then, click and hold the trigger, then twist your hand in the same motion that you would in real life. Let's give this a try. In this next exercise, you will be moving the EQ by holding the trigger and moving your hand in the direction indicated on the beat highway. You can choose to move more slowly or quickly, but just make sure you do more than just click on the button now that you have continuous movement. Good luck. Next, we are going to be breaking down our fourth song in the mix. In this song, we have an intro of 8 bars without drums and vocals, and then we have an 8-bar vocal section with an 8-bar build into a 24-bar drop. You can see that this essentially repeats itself in the second half of the song as well. Based on what I've already mapped out, where do you think the best place would be to try and mix song 4 into song 3? I'll give you a moment to look at both of these maps right now. Keep in mind, there's no one right answer, and this is where the art of mixing is. If I gave us all the same songs, we may all mix them slightly differently. I think where I want to try to mix this is on the 16 bars leading up to the drop. So you can see there is a 16-bar lead up or build that I can use coming out of song 3, and I'm going to line that up with the 16 bars, essentially the 8 and 8 of those vocals that are happening, that are going right before the drop here. So almost doing another drop swap. Let's go ahead and try that out. Time to put it all together. Remember to follow the beat highways, and since you have full continuous movement of the knobs and faders, you may choose to move more gradually or more abruptly depending on your style. Your score will not reflect that, but will instead register correctly if you start at the time the beat highway tells you. Don't forget to have fun. Let's do it.
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Don't pause. Press play. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Don't pause. Press play. Press play. Press play. Press play. Press play.
Welcome into day 4 of the DJ Challenge. Today is a big day. We are busting out the top-of-the-line Pioneer DJ CDJ3000s and the DJM 900 Nexus 2 mixer, and I think you're ready for it. Everything that we have learned on the simplified decks will still be helpful and will translate to this larger rig, but we will also be going over some new techniques as well today. Let's jump in. Let's start with the CDJ3000. A few things are different, but let's focus on what's familiar first. So, hot cues. Hot cues used to be below the actual platter. Now, you'll see they're above the platter and below the screen. And instead of having only 4 hot cues, we now have 8 hot cues. Loops. Loops are located in the same general area as they were on the simplified decks, except for now we also have an 8-beat loop. So we have a 4-beat loop and an 8-beat loop. And hitting each of those buttons will either extend the loop or shorten the loop. Play and cue are essentially the same. You'll see they're located in the same area as they were on the simplified decks. Beat sync. We now have a master sync and then a beat sync button. So you'll select which deck is your master at the time. You'll select master on that deck, and then every other deck that you have, you can hit beat sync and it will sync to the master deck. Other features. There are a few other features that we'll start to incorporate, but I just want to give you a moment to play around with the CDJ3000 and get familiar. When you're ready, hit next and we'll move on to the mixer. This is one of the most popular mixers that you will see in almost any club or festival stage around the world, so it's important to get familiar with it. In fact, we have some DJs in Tribe that literally use our platform to practice on the same rig they will be playing on at the club when they're on the road or don't have access to this $2,000 mixer. Again, starting with what's familiar. EQ and filter are in the vertical position above the volume fader, but you'll notice that this is a 4-channel mixer compared to the 2-channel simplified decks mixer you were on before. So you'll notice that on the left deck, that is actually routing into channel 1 on our mixer. The right deck is going into channel 4. We technically don't have anything plugged into channels 2 and 3, but if we were to get 4 CDJs out here, then we would use all 4 channels. The filter knob does behave a little bit different, and we'll be breaking that down shortly. This is actually referred to as the color effects knob. More in just a moment. The crossfader also needs to be assigned since there are more than 2 channels. To keep it simple, I suggest switching channel 1 to be A and channel 4 to be B. When you bring in, again, 4 decks, you'll also need to assign those as well. Now, you can also move the crossfader assign to the middle, which would make that through, and it would disable the crossfader. So if you're one that doesn't really use the crossfader, maybe you want to choose that as an option. Beat effects. To the right of the mixer, we'll see this beat effects section, and we'll cover this in this lesson as well. There's so many cool effects that we can add into the mix. Headphones and pre-cue is similar to the simplified decks, and that's located in the bottom left-hand corner of the mixer. Again, you can hold your hand controller up to your ear and click, and that will activate the pre-cue. Try to not get too overwhelmed. I'll give you a moment to explore a little bit more, and when you're ready, click next, and we'll move on to the next lesson. The color effects adds non-rhythmic effects to each channel. There are 6 different color effects, and we will break down each of them. There are several steps. First, select the effects that you want on the far left-hand side. That's just a button there. So you'll see options like filter, noise, dub echo. So you'll select one of those. Next, we'll move the parameter knob, the knob that's literally right below that. I usually like to start with this at 12 o'clock, and then I'll adjust depending on the effect. Next, select the color effects knob for the channel that you want to apply the effects to. So in this case, we would apply this effect to channel 1. let me show you a real quick demo on how to use this with the filter. All right, here we go. I'm going to select filter. It's blinking. It lets me know that now it's activated. Now my color effects knob I can use. I like where my parameters at. It's already at 12 o'clock. I can hit A to return to the middle, which would essentially turn off the filter. I can also deactivate the effect and not necessarily have to move the knob back to the 12 o'clock position in order to be able to get this real quick snap of it turning off. Awesome. Now it's your turn.
In the darkness. In the darkness. I shouldn't call you, it's over. I can't control you, hope you can bear some time. 'Cause I'm just you, no worry. I got a feeling on the inside, and no man can hold you, 'cause you're frozen, cold inside. You told me we could fly into space and we get high in the darkness. In the dark.
The beat effects are located on the right side of the mixer, and it's important to follow these steps when using the beat effects. I like to start in the middle of the mixer and start working my way down. So, the first thing we want to select is the effect. Do you want to use the delay, the echo, the flanger? So make sure to select the effect first. Next, select which channel you want to put this effect on. Either channel 1, channel 4, on the master channel. You have some other options too in terms of crossfaders, but I like to just keep it simple and put it on the channel that I'm actually on. Then you want to make sure that you check the BPM. The BPM should be the same BPM as the track that you want to put the effect on. Now this is incredibly important if you're using effects such as gate, delay, echo, roll, things that are rhythm-based effects. Once that's set, you need to choose which frequencies you want to apply the effect to, so you'll see 3 blue buttons: high, mid, and low. Select the frequency that you want. By default, all 3 of them are on. Next, you want to use the level and depth knob to be able to get that set to the right place. By default, it's set to 12 o'clock, and I usually keep it there to start with, and then I make adjustments from there. And then last but not least, there is the on button. So you just have to arm the effect and it'll start going automatically. It's on and off, and it'll start blinking when it's on. Let me show you how this works with the delay effect. All right, here we go. I've got my delay effect. We're good. I've got it set to channel 4. We're all good, and the BPM looks the same. Let's do it. I'm gonna hit a half beat.
She found a way into my heart.
Now it's your turn.
She found a way into my heart. Oh, oh, she don't make up, no, she make art. And I need a way to treat it, 'cause I keep getting high off of her. Off of her. I know that you'd be bad from the minute I saw you. But somehow I keep running back to you. Back to you. Back to long nights can get me feeling lonely. Hey. Hearing music that can make me smile. But the way I feel with her cannot be explained. But one thing still remains on my mind. From the minute I saw you. But somehow I keep running back to you. Back to you. I know that you'd be bad, bad, bad. I know that you'd be bad, bad, bad. I know that you'd be bad, bad, bad. I know that you'd be bad.
Beat effects can be so much fun, but we don't want to overdo it. I want you to think of these beat effects as spices, seasoning that would go into your cooking. You don't want to put too much salt in a dish. It can overpower the dish. We really want to make sure that the mix stays front and center, and that just the right amount of effect can really make something pop. So I want you to explore a little bit, try some of the different effects, check out the flanger, check out the phaser, see how they all behave, start to learn a little bit more about each effect, and when you're ready, click next and we'll move on.
She don't make up, no, she make art. Need a way to treat it, 'cause I keep getting high off.
We've been applying beat effects to the song as it was playing, but I want to show you a technique that will allow you to use the echo effect to transition between songs. And this is super helpful if you're trying to change up the vibe and maybe the tempo or the BPM. I call this a cold start transition. So there's a couple of steps here. Number one, we need to have a song that we're going into that has a cold start, or not just instrumental intro. So something that sort of starts right away. And usually that song would be at a different tempo. It could be at the same tempo, but this works best if it's at a different tempo. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to use the echo effect and apply that to our track that's playing. In this way, we'll create some space with the echo effect as we create a tail, and everything will slow down and stop, and then we're going to play our new track. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we've got our track on the left side. Echo is set to the right BPM. It's also set on the right channel, and we are ready to go. Now we're still going to respect the map, so I'm going to transition this where it would normally stop anyways. We're going to hit our beat effect on. Here we go. This one is ready to go. And